That's true. This is a part of it. As a matter of fact, there's a federal subsidy on milk of 3 cents, and if we lose this, the price of milk will have to go up, and this is a part of our problem.
While we're on the topic of tonight's meeting, what about the school lunch program? I understand you're thinking of raising the prices of school lunches.
That's true. Actually, there were only, at the current time, we are selling plate lunch. Last year, we sold plate lunches at a lower price than any of the 20 largest school districts in the state. We were nickel under everybody else. As a matter of fact, we were dime under most of them. For instance, well, I won't use any specific towns because I don't want to name it, because most of them are very local here. But if we go to the 35 and 40 cents, there will only be 3 cities of the 20 largest cities will have as low a price as we have, and all the rest of them are higher.
She left somewhere around 2:30.
Where was she going then, do you know?
She was going over to a friend's house,
How
to
far?
a friend's apartment. It was across the street from the apartment where the party was held.
Would she logically have had reason to get in her car to go across the street, do you think?
Well, it wasn't necessary at all. Of course, she could have.
Had she planned to spend the night in Dallas? She had called home and said she was going to.
As far as we knew, when she left, she was going to this other apartment. This was what she had discussed,
In
all
fact,
through
that
the night.
was the very last thing she said to us when we left.
Was that she was staying in Dallas?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we would hope the general reaction would be favorable. Of course, it depends on where the teacher's going to fall on the salary scale as to whether they're going to be very pleased or mildly pleased or displeased.
What is your general reaction to the work that the board put in on the budget?
Oh, I think the board has worked very hard on the budget, and they spent a great amount of hours, and they have considered every aspect of the budget, and they have done what they consider to be the best thing. Even though we may disagree with the amount of money that they have appropriated for our salary, we still have to concede that they have worked hard for this budget.
Overrides the president's veto, then we'd have to go back to the drawing board and determine how we would spend the additional funds that we have not anticipated and have not budgeted.
How much trouble would this be?
Conversation with her.
Well, we were on the patio talking, and I think we were talking about the fact, or I mentioned just before we left, how we'd missed having her as a fourth hand for bridge several times, and she smiled and said that she would be glad to get back so that we could play bridge. We all enjoyed that a lot, and played about once a week during the school year.
Does what has happened scare you?
The thing that frightens me is the fact that some person or persons who has done this is still walking around.
And they were prepared to take a similar action, and we certainly would be involved if it was required to renegotiate and to take other tactics to bring about a settlement.
Department had to come out and put out a grass fire just across the highway here. Are you having a lot of that problem?
Well, we're having probably about an average summer on grass fires. We have quite a few grass fires in the Louisville area every summer.
Thank you very much. Tommy Feaster, who's Mayor Pro Tem of the city of Louisville. They're going to have a bond issue probably Monday. They'll set the election date. It's $7.5 million, and with that, they want to build a water treatment plant, a new sewage treatment plant, make arrangements to get raw water from Dallas, and many other improvements. Whether it will pass or not, Only Election Day will tell, but the city fathers are certainly hopeful that it will. This is Jim Mitchell, Channel 8 News on the Move in Louisville.
The crowd here at SMU is gathered to watch a very unusual car leave. The car looks like a 1970 blue Mustang, but inside it's very different. A number of techniques have been used to cut down on the pollution of the air emitted by the car. And it's part of SMU's entry in the 1970 Intercollegiate Clean Air Car Race, which will run this month from Boston to California. SMU's faculty advisor for this car is Dr. Carlos Kuhn. I asked him what makes the car different, what makes it cut down on pollution.
Primary feature is the conversion to propane or LP gas carburation, and then in addition to that we've added several other controls on the ignition and the exhaust and intake manifolds that enhance its pollution suppression abilities.
Are these techniques that are going to be used commercially? Can we look for a car on the market in a couple of years with these?
I think perhaps unless a big decision is made to turn away from the internal combustion engine that several of these techniques will be used. Some of them are being used now to some extent. Others are being considered by the big companies for future use.
SMU students are joining with college students, drivers from all across the nation from 57 different colleges to try to cut down on the pollution on our nation's highways. Phil Reynolds, Channel 8 News on the Move at SMU.
the NAACP stands ready to take whatever action is deemed necessary if we are asked by the present parties involved, or if it becomes necessary that we do it ourselves. I'd like to point out that our branches here in Dallas had already begun collecting data on the Safeway stores. One of the first notations was that the stores were very filthy in the predominantly black communities.
Well, you'd cut out the entire thing. For instance, the federally impacted area, which in Fort Worth amounts to about $1,400,000, that's 10 cents on the tax rate would have to go up, which we can't get. All of the preschool programs, all of the bilingual programs, the program for the kindergartens that are federally supported, the visiting teachers, the Head Start program in the summertime, all of the special programs which have been designed to help the people who are culturally and financially handicapped would be cut out.
She was a very, very nice person. She was so easy to get along with. She looked for the good things in everyone and enjoyed everybody. She wasn't like many girls who are at times critical of other people. She just seemed to enjoy life a great deal and really enjoyed people and children alike.
Well, as of today, I think that we're in good shape on water as far as right today is concerned, with the continued help of the people on not watering and saving water in every way possible. I think that probably we can get through this okay.
We don't know what effect this will have until, of course, the Congress acts. If the Congress does not override the veto and the initial request of the President is approved, it would not affect our budget whatsoever, because our budget for 70-71 is based on the President's request. If the Congress overrides the veto and gives the President another $1 billion, that would mean an additional $500,000 to $700,000 for our school district that has not been budgeted. them at all. What we have done, of course, is to budget very conservatively on these funds, with the possibility that additional funds would be forthcoming, as they usually are. We have a number of projects that are ready to submit for approval to the state agency if additional funds become available.
Very good, thank you.
I appreciate it. Okay.